My mother's not living anymore, but she did everything for everybody. We didn't have much money growing up, and she worked little side jobs just to buy gifts during the holidays for our neighbors. And I guess I'm who I am today because of her. And my dad's doing well. I spoke to him today in Florida. And my sister also lives in Florida. She didn't come up. My brother Paul lives closer by Livingston. He's not here today. My sister's name is Carol. And my beautiful wife is here, Lucy. Stand up for 1 second. She always likes to look down at me.
Yes,
She really does. I really just to look at the morning. But she just makes me happy every day, which is fantastic. Thanks to my parents, we lived in Elizabeth. I went to Elizabeth High School, formerly Thomas Jefferson High School. We happened to move here right behind the Y, like Brian said, 1966, after I graduated. So my brother and sister, who were younger, they could go to Union High School because Elizabeth High School was a little too tough for them back then. For me, I guess it was okay. Fortunately for me, the Y was right here, so we joined the Y. It wasn't that expensive. It was right behind here. It would keep me off the streets and let me do my thing here. First year, I was here playing a little bit. They had a portable basket right here, old everything, but the Y was brand new, brand new. We had our biddy board up here. I started up here. We did have a score clock. It's Larry and then Brian hopefully get one donated for the future. But, the Y was my home away from home. They asked me to coach a JV team, so I coached a JV team. My only experience was coaching is during baseball. Growing up, it was all baseball, and I coached my own teams and recruited my own players, and then I got here, so we had the JV team. Then the next year, they asked me to coach the varsity. 1 year JV, and right to the varsity. I was that good. I really, not to toot my horn, but I was great with kids. I love kids, I love people, and this was it. I was in college. I went to Kane College here, first year speed reading course, and then I went to night school for 2 years. We didn't have money to pay for it. I worked in my father's factory 90 straight days without a day off, and then I went full-time at night the next 2 years. They asked me to coach the varsity. I did that. While I was going into my junior year in college, they asked me to be the athletic director here. So they weren't sure because I was so young, and I stayed 10 years as the athletic director. In the middle of that, Solomon Schechter Day School moved from Vauxhall Road, and they were just beginning up to the top floor up here. So they rented out the whole top floor. And they asked me if I wanted to sub a class or two, and I did that. Eventually they moved away, and I went with the school but stayed close with the Y, which was my home away from home. When I was the athletic director here, I opened it Saturday nights after Shabbos. I could open it any time. I think one time we closed it and somebody got caught in here and the alarm went off. But outside of that, it was a lot of fun. It was fun for me. It was my, again, home away from home. We had people of all sorts and all kinds. I remember the Roselle Catholic program was so strong. It was a Jewish Y and Jewish, kosher and this and that. When they had the executive director at Barry Chandler, I had to learn about more Judaism, even though I was bar mitzvah. But they had every week you had to learn something back then in those days. We had kids from Roselle Catholic on the team because they were a powerhouse back then, and they sent the kids that were left over tried out and joined the Y. They were on our teams too. So I have some pictures of the Y back there on the wall. But again, my personality opened up. I was a little quiet nobody. Not that I'm anybody today, but I was a very quiet. But as an athletic director, Larry probably knows, I forgot my keys where they were all the time. I kept losing my keys. I had that problem. I had this and this. I did slim and trim. I worked with kids in gymnastics. I worked with senior, I had CPR. I had to take everything. They flew me up I was in the middle of taking a course to be a lifeguard. I remember Roberta Einhorn, she was helping me there, and they flew me up to, because the camp director got sick, up to Buffalo. And I stayed up there at Kodak Camera until the camp met me up there. A lot of great experience, a lot of fun. I'm just going to mention a few names of people that were very dear to me over the years, and started back here with the Roadrunners. Larry left, I don't know if Larry's here today. Steve Syracusa, my man right here, repped all our games and played ball. We played every afternoon. It was like unbelievable games. Ed Leibowitz couldn't make it today because his son's house, he had a fire or something like that, or he would have been here. My great friend Scott Stember, my great friend as a kid, and played ball with him all the time. Marvin Zaitz, Marvin's. Say hello, Marv.
What's up, Marv?
All right, my man. Went to Hebrew school and baseball and everything with him. And he owned Star Sports in Linden. Okay, 925-4446. We did, Cass. We had Mark Rosenberg, grew up, he was playing in Hillside, very close friend of mine. Peter Till, family, everybody there. My great friend and matchmaker, Lucy. Only Orthodox women. Lester. Okay. He happens to be a Holocaust survivor. He happens to be a teacher. He wrote like 10 books. And he's also sitting next to Calvin's closest friend, who's also, I believe, a preacher.
Yes.
Is that not there?
Yes, that's true. I do.
So, unbelievable relationships and things that we've had here. We had my real close friend, he imitates everything I do, is Seth Schwartz. Say hello, Seth. Great coach, great friend. Always mimicking me. Right? Got something to say about me? We have Mitch Sharp, who played, I believe, with the Roadrunners, and friend is our accountant. He does everything. He helps kids. We went to have a program. I'm hoping to get Little Roberson in there this summer. Write on sports from Newark, where you write about sports, take kids and stuff like that. Went to the program there because it's all about helping people in academics and helping anybody every which way as we can do. That's what we do. Thanks for all tutoring for Tyler Roberson, who's at Syracuse, and his family's here, and Hakeem Santillo, who's at Southern Alabama, starting as a freshman. All provided free tutoring. I know Darnell, he's looking for some of that in the future. He plays for Newark East Side and will be one of our next great players. I have one more mention here, and just a quick story about him. Actually was a great basketball coach, and actually I watched him in the little room over there do these little exercises, which I do 30 minutes of crunches at night. And I watched him, and I watched him, and I watched him, and I said, why don't I do that? And he probably doesn't even know who I'm speaking about, but he's wearing the same shirt as my colored sneakers here, and his name is Dave Klerman. Dave played at Pacific University, California, was a great player. We talked. I think he rivaled with Oscar Robertson, one of the great players. But little Dave know, when I first joined the Y here, him and this guy now, this guy about 225 strong, about 5'6", into scrap metal, retired soon. And him and Dave would be playing one-on-one. I'd be standing right by the wall over there. And Malcolm would be beating the loving daylights out of Dave. And Dave said, I'm going to play the paddleball. You won't give me the call? He said, no, play. But I enjoyed it. It was just so much fun. That's what the Y's about. We line the floors, people waiting back then to play games. Yes, I see you, Iman Muhammad, one of my former players right there. I see that. But it was great. The one other guy I want to mention that Dave will get a kick out of was Al Lifson. Al Lifson played at North Carolina. Star player, about 6 foot, never went for a fake. So I learned that from him. When I'm playing full court, I'm just a young kid. Used to play over at college here, come back and play at night. These guys are a little older now. He hit me on every play, just kept on hitting me, kept me. And you know, I played, at that time I trained myself from 11th grade on. I'm not gonna get into that, my book will. But the bottom line is, Al kept on hitting me. Al, I said, Al. I said, why did you hit me so much? He said, I just wanted to see if you were tough enough to play this game. I wanted to see if you were tough enough. Right, Dirk Vandis there? Dirk's my buddy back here. He's the fly guy with his plane and scared the loving daylights on our AU. We have such family members here. People have been generous, donating. I don't want to mention someone to say, don't want us to tell them about it. But Dirk and his father, they used to fly a couple of kids down to save us some money on his little plane. Maybe 3 kids would fit in there. So it was like, I mean, it was an experience that I didn't want to have. So I said, you guys can go. But thank you, and Dirk is unbelievable. He still is a great person. I'm just going to move on down here. Before I get any further, I want to say hello to my 3 amigos here at the Y today. Janie here, did she move around? She's head of administration. She went back upstairs. The other part of the, she's getting refreshments ready. Brian Fox, who's been here, and unbelievable. That's why he allows all our different ethnic, this, that. That's what the Y's really about. It's a Jewish Y, but everybody's always welcome. He rolls out the red carpet for everybody. Okay? And I want to thank him. And Larry Walker, the athletic director here. I mean, he's just so good to the community and everything like that. And these people enjoy life. All 3 of them enjoy life. Not only here, whatever they do, they always have a smile. They always have helping people and do things. So I really appreciate everything that you've done for me and just the way you are, as you are, great people. All right, I'm going to move on here real fast right here. I am going to, first I want to introduce my AAU staff. I want guys that help me. They're not always here, but they've coached team. I know he's here. He helps with our program here. Kirk Zanusky. Kirk here. Say hello, Kirk. There isn't a referee in the state that he's met that he's liked. When he saw Jim Boeheim yesterday going off, he was right behind him. Actually, might have ran past Jim Boeheim yesterday, yelling at the officials. So if you sit with Kirk, cover up a little bit, because he will give it. But Kirk, because he knows his fundamentals, does a great job helping the kids. So I want to thank him. I also want to, from Trenton, New Jersey, Larry Richardson. Larry here, Larry's unbelievable. Helped us come down here. I went down and did a clinic down for him, but he supports our program, which is fantastic. Big Charlie, 6'10", from Lafayette, is not here today. I don't think his family members in Vegas, but his son is here, Chip. Where's Chip? They play for us, and Chip coaches our 17-year-old team with Charlie this year. We have our man Kalo, who's not here, he's probably working, from Patterson, great friend, great guy. I want to thank Brian's not here. He's doing me a favor and coaching my little 6th grade team up at Kushner Academy. So he had that so I could be here. Ed Fiore, you all met, works with me at school, fantastic. He's a great ambassador for our program. I want to also thank Mitch, I mentioned before, but I want to thank Mitch and all the help he's given with our program. I also want to thank Eli Friedman for helping us with all our work up here and stuff. And again, the big boss man, as I would say, John Gardner and his lovely family. Okay, this is fantastic. Just rolling down, I just almost finished up like less than 5 minutes. Larry, you're there. Good. My wife wants to go to her ballet class, right, Lucy? I'm here. Okay. Here we go. Yes, we have my friend. One thing about the Y, I'm going to leave this to the end, but I'm going to just introduce 3 people real fast, and then I'm just going to give you a note to read like Alvin left you like this. My friend